Hi, in this video I'll try to explain what is the process of identifying project stakeholders and how do you get in touch with them. So you need to understand, as a business analyst we are liable for certain things such as investigations, identifications, analyzing, communications and documenting. We are like a package of skill set and a mindset. We should always think, how can we do things better through continuous improvement? So to gain some knowledge from user perspective, we need to do interviews to the stakeholders to understand the situation or the complexity of the problem. And we may need to spend a lot of time as a team to solve the problems. As one of the first steps, we need to interview the stakeholders to understand the project from the business perspective. However, unless you know who are the stakeholders, you cannot do this job. So you need to investigate on stakeholders and the respective subject matter experts by performing the stakeholder analysis, which will help you to identify who are the key stakeholders from each aspect of the business. And you need to categorize them, as some of the needs may impact the project, or you need to analyze on how do they impact on the project. What are their contributions? What is the level of involvement? Or how do we need to communicate with them? So some of the stakeholders are very important as they own some requirements or even departments. As a simple step, stakeholders can be identified from your project managers or even project co-owners. Do not even hesitate to ask them or even try to extract this information from project charter or even the business cases. Anyway, project manager is the one who has selected the stakeholders for the project, or he is the one who has been selected by the stakeholders. Either way, project managers should know who are the stakeholders for the project. But the project managers may not know their level of contribution or level of involvement or who are the respective subject matter experts, unfortunately. So once you start building the relationship with the stakeholders, you will be able to categorize based on their contribution or involvement. Remember one thing, subject matter experts are like Wikipedia for us. If you ask one question, they will give you multiple answers. You need to pick your right answer and what is required for your project based on your scope. Scope is like a boundary for us. If you cross the boundary, your project manager may get upset because it totally impacts the budget, schedule or even the resources. So if you are smart enough, before you raise any question to any stakeholders or even the subject matter experts, you have to provide an overview of the project to SME or even stakeholder, just to remind them, so that they give you the response based on your scope, based on your requirement, and this helps to keep them in control. One of our main agenda is to communicate with the key players, to analyze what they need, gather everything together from stakeholders or subject matter experts, present recommendations in the form of a package, and get the approvals from the stakeholders, which is commonly known as a requirements document. Believe me or not, we will get an opportunity to work with various clients on a day-to-day basis at all levels of organization, from project manager to the co-owner or even CEO, and all of them come under as a stakeholders for us. So business analyst daily role is really speaking to the various people. Never be afraid of a person. Never be afraid of a person you're interviewing with. At the end of the day, they need something from you. What you're trying to do is gathering their requirements, their information to move forward. But make sure You capture those requirements and verify them or get approvals from them. To conclude, identify the stakeholders, identify level of contribution or involvement, create a relationship and build the trust among the stakeholders. The best thing about being a business analyst is your capability and ability to influence the decisions and outcomes in a project. I hope you have an overview of a stakeholder analysis, or how do we need to identify the stakeholders. Thank you and good luck.